greenhouses, of buildings, schools, all the infrastructure that they need to live successfully. And what did they do? As soon as they came in, they destroyed everything. They destroyed the greenhouse, they destroyed the businesses. Instead of oasis, they turned it back into the desert. Exactly the same. And Avimelech said to Yitzchak, "Go away from us, for you have become much mightier than we." Can't handle it. You are making us successful. You're providing water for us. You harvest so much. You will be involved in our economy and you will make us rich. But we just cannot handle that you're more successful than us. Please go away. So Yitzchak departed from there and encamped in the valley of Gerar, some distance away from the city, and dwelt there. And Yitzchak dug new wells of water. Verse 19. Yitzchak's servants dug in the valley and found a well of fresh water. But again, the shepherds of Gerar quarreled with Yitzchak's shepherds, saying, "The water is ours, even though you dug it, but it's in our country, so give it to us." Verse 21, then he dug another well, and they quarreled over that also. They're not leaving him alone. Verse 22, he relocated from there and dug another well, and they did not quarrel over it. So he called its name Rehovot. Rehovot means wide expanse, that now they are leaving me alone and I can have peace of mind. Page 133, verse 23. He went up from there to Beersheba. Now he finally decides to leave that place. The situation in the land of Israel is improved, so he goes back to the land of Israel. He comes to Beersheba, and Hashem appeared to him that night and said, "I am the God of your father Abraham. Fear not, for I am with you. I will bless you and increase your offspring because of Abraham my servant." Verse 26. And now, just like in the days of Abraham, Avimelech came and made a peace treaty with Abraham. Now Avimelech went to him from Gerar with a group of his friends. He comes again to make a peace treaty. And Yitzchak said, "Why did you come? Don't you hate me? You even drove me away." And he says, "We see that Hashem is with you, and therefore we became scared and we want to make a covenant with you, that you shouldn't do evil to us, just like we have not molested you," even though they stole from him, they chased him away, but they are playing righteous, self-righteous. "We didn't molest you. We only did good for you. Say thank you that we didn't kill you, and we sent you away in peace. Now you, O blessed of Hashem, be nice to us." So he agreed, he made a feast, and they ate and drank. They awoke early in the morning and swore to one another. And his servants dug another well and and found water again. Now we go forward in time. Esav was 40 years old, and he took a wife, Yehudit, from the nation of Hittites. They are one of the Canaanite nations, as a wife. And he took another wife. Her name was Basmat, also from a Canaanite nation. Now we turn to page 135. Chapter 27, verse 1. It came to pass, now sometime later. Esav married when he was 40 years old. Now we jump 23 more years. Yaakov and Esav are 63 years old. Yitzchak is 123 years old. It came to pass when Yitzchak became old, his eyes dimmed. So he called Esav, verse 2, and he said, verse 3, hunt game for me, make delicacies, and I will eat, so that my soul may bless you before I die. Again, Yitzchak was hoping that his blessing on Esav will have positive effect, and perhaps Esav will do teshuvah. Verse 5. Now Rivka was listening to Yitzchak as Yitzchak spoke to Esav. Verse 6. And Rivka said to Yaakov her son. Verse 9. Go now to the flock and fetch me from there 2 choicest young kids of the goats, and I will make of them delicacies for your father. And then bring it to your father. He will eat, so that he may bless you before his death. So Rivka relates her prophecy to Yaakov, and she says, I received message from God that you are the firstborn, that you are supposed to get the blessing, and your father wants to bless Esav. He doesn't know, and I'm not allowed to tell him because Hashem didn't allow me. I'm telling it to you because you are the one involved. You need to know it, and therefore go and get the blessing. Yaakov replied to Rivka, but my brother Esav is a hairy man, and I'm smooth-skinned. Perhaps my father will feel me, and he might get upset and curse me. We're on page 137, verse 13. But his mother said to him, your curse will be on me. She reassured him and said, no, don't worry, everything's going to be good. Your father is not going to curse you, he's going to bless you. So Yaakov brought the goats. Rivka prepared delicious food. Verse 18, he came to his father, and by the way, Rivka put goat skin on his hands and on his neck, so that in case his father touches him, he will feel hair. So he comes to his father, and Yitzchak in verse 20 tells him, how is it that you are so quick to find my son? And he said, because Hashem your God arranged it for me. It's min hashamayim. Yes, it is unusual. Verse 21, and Yitzchak said to Yaakov, come close so I can feel you. Yitzchak is feeling something is wrong. He felt him. Verse 23, but he did not recognize him. So he blessed him. Verse 24, and he said, you are indeed my son Esav. So he served him, he ate, and then he said, come to me, I want to kiss you. Page 139. He kissed him and he smelled him, and he said, see, the fragrance of my son is like the fragrance of the field which Hashem had blessed. He felt the smell of Gan Eden because Yaakov was so holy. And Yitzchak blesses Yaakov. Verse 28 on page 139. May God give you of the dew of the heavens. Your blessing should come straight from heaven. And of the fatness of the earth. You should have spiritual blessing and physical blessing. And abundant grain and wine. Peoples, nations will serve you, and regimes will prostrate themselves to you. Be a lord to your kinsmen. You should be the master over all your brothers. My descendants should be subservient to you. And your mother's sons will prostrate themselves to you. Cursed be they who curse you, and blessed be they who bless you. Yitzchak received the blessing and he left. And now Esav, his brother, came back from his hunt. And Yitzchak said to him, who are you? And he said, I'm your firstborn, Esav. Verse 33, Yitzchak realizes that he was tricked. Then Yitzchak trembled in a very great perplexity, and he said, who? Where? Who is the one that hunted the game and brought it to me, and I ate it, and I blessed him? Now he realizes that it was all min hashamayim. And he said, indeed, he shall remain blessed. So he confirms that the blessing that he gave by mistake was not by mistake. It should stay by that person. And Esav cries and asks for blessing. When Esav heard his father's words, he cried out an exceedingly great and bitter cry, and he said, "Bless me too, father." And he said, "Your brother took it." And Esav said, "What? He tricked me twice." And now Esav, without realizing, he admits. He says, "He tricked me twice. He took away my firstborn right, he bought it, and now he took away my blessing." And now Yitzchak realizes that it was good that he blessed Yaakov, because Esav was lying to him. He never told him that he sold the firstborn right to Yaakov. And Esav said, "Have you not reserved the blessing for me?" And Yitzchak said, "What can I do? I made him master over you, and I gave him everyone else as servants. I supported him with grain and wine. What can I do for you?" And Esav said, "Have you but one blessing, father? Bless me too, father." And Esav raised his voice and wept. And now Yitzchak can't handle his son crying, so he decided to bless him. "Behold, of the fatness of the earth shall be your dwelling, and of the dew of the heavens from above. By your sword shall you live, but your brother shall you serve." And when you are aggrieved, you may cast off his yoke from upon your neck. And that is a prediction that when the Jewish people don't deserve to be the masters over Esav, then Esav will be able to be masters over the Jewish people. This is part of the prediction that Hashem told Rivka, that the might, the power will go from one to another. When the Jewish people are spiritually high, then Esav serves the Jewish people. When Yaakov is low, then Esav becomes high. Now, verse 41. Esav's hatred towards Yaakov is increased. Esav harbored hatred toward Yaakov. And he thought in his heart, "When my father dies, I will kill my brother Yaakov." Now, Esav didn't say it. He just thought it. And he didn't even dwell on it. It just was in the back of his mind. But Rivka was told the words, the thoughts of her son Esav, which means she received prophecy that Esav is thinking to kill Yaakov. So she called Yaakov and said to him, "Your brother is thinking to kill you. Therefore, run away from here to my brother Lavan, to Haran, and stay there until I call you back." And then she went to her husband, and she said to him, "I am disgusted with my life on account of the daughters of Chet," which means I don't like my son's wives. Esav was married to two wives, and they're both of very low character. They're both from the Canaanite nations. I don't like them. This was an introduction for her, because she is not allowed to tell the prophecy to Yitzchak. She cannot tell Yitzchak that Esav wants to kill Yaakov. So she has to make up a story. So she says, "I would like Yaakov to marry someone from my family." So we're on page 143, chapter 28. So Yitzchak called Yaakov, blessed him again, and instructed him and said, "Do not take a wife from Canaanite women. Go to Padan Aram, to the house of Betuel, your mother's brother, your uncle, and take a wife from there, from the daughters of Lavan, your mother's brother, your uncle. And may God, Kel Shakai, bless you, make you fruitful, and make you numerous, and may you be a congregation of peoples." This is another blessing that Yitzchak gives to Yaakov. "May God grant you the blessing of Abraham to you and to your offspring with you. that you may possess the land of your sojourns, which God gave to Abraham. So Yitzchak sent away Yaakov, and he went toward Padan Aram, to Lavan. When Esav saw that Yitzchak blessed Yaakov again and sent him to find a wife, and he told him, don't take a wife from the girls of Canaan, Esav said, okay, you know what? I want to please my father, and I will also take a third wife, not from Canaanite nations. Verse 8, then Esav perceived that the daughters of Canaan were evil in the eyes of Yitzchak, his father. So Esav went to Ishmael, who was the son of Abraham, and took Mahlat, the daughter of Ishmael, son of Abraham, sister of Nevayot, in addition to his wives, as a wife for himself. And here our sages say that this was an additional mistake of Esav. He knows that his parents don't approve of his wives, and instead of divorcing them, he's just putting a band-aid on top of it. He's saying, I'm going to marry a good wife also, without divorcing the original ones. So, in the next week, Torah portion, we will learn what happens to Yaakov. Yaakov is not married yet. He's 63 years old. Esav already has 3 wives. Yaakov is not married yet. Be'ezat Hashem. Difficult life is coming towards Yaakov, but Be'ezat Hashem, he will survive, and we are witnesses to the blessing that he received from Yitzchak twice, and we still carry the blessing of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov in us. Be'ezat Hashem, may we all be successful, may we all plant and harvest 100 times just like Yitzchak, and Be'ezat Hashem, we should dig wells and draw water, and Be'ezat Hashem, we should receive the spiritual bounty and the physical bounty, and Be'ezat Hashem, we should all be married successfully, and we should all have good children who will give us only happiness. Thank you for listening. Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach.